Welcome to Sorry If I Spit When I Speak. Today we want to ask if AJ McCarron's confidence in himself is justified. I'm joined by John Sheeran and Dr. Hoji the Electric Smoji. John, why don't you go ahead and start for us?
The underlying thing that you have with AJ McCarron is polished potential. All quarterbacks who enter the league lack experience and refinement in some way. It's less obvious with guys like Andrew Luck and more obvious with guys like RG3. The reason why teams may want McCarron as their face of the franchise is because he's fresh in terms of youth and playing time like a rookie, but he's been developing under a pro system and staff for 3 years now. All of this is nice in a vacuum when you look at it, but not all quarterbacks can overcome their deficiencies on the bench. In his time on the field, he looked very inconsistent in terms of his throwing motion and rotation that led to very inaccurate throws. Maybe he's gotten better, maybe he hasn't, but that's the risk a team would take. McCarron has a great mental makeup of playing the position, and I do believe in QB wins to a certain extent. But teams will want him because of what he could be, not because of what he is right now. And what he is right now isn't that good of a QB, and not a true franchise quarterback. Rather, he's a borderline starter in this league that would greatly limit an offense.
Okay, so starter, but not the guy you want to build around, right? Okay, Hoji, what about you?
Yeah, I say yes. Franchise QB 100%. Indubitably, look, the man has shown he has what it takes. Started with a bang, threw a 66-yard touchdown to AJ Green. Okay, he finished with a bang, leading the Bengals back from a 15-point deficit in the fourth quarter in the playoffs, man. That game with the Steelers, I mean, remember, the last time AJ McCarron touched the ball, we were winning our first playoff game. Don't forget it. And he was big time in his only regular season primetime game against the Broncos. Does anyone really think that Dalton would have done better in either game against the Steelers, a team he's 3-9 against, with 13 touchdowns and 11 receptions, or that he would have won in Denver on a Monday night game? Come on.
Yeah, but Hoji, you have to admit the offense took a step back after Dalton got injured.
I think you mean when Eifert was injured, which happened in the same game against Pittsburgh. Okay, McCarron was without Eifert for all but his last regular season game, when he threw 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions against the Ravens. And then there was that rainy, messy playoff game which McCarron started slow, but boy, did he catch fire late. Meanwhile, Dalton has never looked great without Eifert. A pass-catching tight end works wonders for a quarterback's efficiency. Just ask Tom Brady, who's been far better with the Gronks than without him over his career. So it's not fair to compare McCarron's numbers to Dalton's numbers with Eifert.
Yeah, but Hoji, have you really seen enough of McCarron to know if he can be a starter?
Let me ask you something, Daddio. If McCarron was drafted number 1 or number 2 overall, like Jared Goff or Carson Wentz, instead of 164th overall, do you think we'd be even having this conversation? Because I don't, okay? He's shown more to me than either of those two guys have, simply because he performed in big games on the playoff team. McCarron has as many touchdown passes in one playoff game, as Dalton does in 5. And yet we're not sure if he deserves to start on a team like the Browns. I'm sorry, but this is draftism.
Yeah, but he wasn't the first round pick because teams knew he wasn't the first round pick. Now, this isn't always true with quarterbacks. I mean, look at what Dak Prescott just did this year. But McCarron didn't fall through any cracks in the draft like Prescott did. He was drafted right where he should have been, and looked okay playing on a team that went 10-2 and Andy Dalton at the helm.
Look, I'm just going to say it as I knows it, and that is that AJ McCarron, Mr. McCracken, will one day be the finest quarterback in the NFL. And everyone will wonder why the Bengals traded him. And you know what else? Wherever he goes, I go. I'm going to go to those games. I'm going to move to that city. You lose AJ McCarron, you lose Hoji.
Oh, that would be devastating for Bengals fan, but that's all we have for Sorry If I Spit When I Speak this time. We'll see you next time, boys and girls.